downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're rolling, right here? Okay, so now it's time for our featured speaker, and I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Like Erik was saying, I know it's the holiday time of the year. It's a tough time to get people together, but the people that are here, are truly going to be very successful. You're here because you want to help people, and you're here because you also want to move your business forward. And today, because Shari and San Bruno has another group that books this room once per year during the same time as our meeting time, we had no access to that location. So I was talking with Erik a few weeks ago, and we're saying, hey, let's do it at your office. And this would be a great time to give you a chance to show people what you do and show where you're at. And plus, you're only, about 5 to 7 minutes away from Shari San Bruno, right? It would be a great idea. So I want to briefly mention the story on how I met Erik. And some of you have already heard this, but some of you haven't. Erik and I met about, about 7 to 8 years ago. We were both working in retail for Office Max. I was Erik's manager, and he was one of my employees. And I remember one day, and I'm not going to get too far into it, Erik kind of took me outside the front of the store because he wasn't really happy with something that was going on. He was kind of chewing me out. And I was sitting there, thinking about it. I'm like, I have to put myself in his shoes, because I was once in his shoes. And I had managers yelling at me, and I didn't really like it. So I'm going to listen to what he has to say. And he was using some words that weren't really that professional, but that's okay. I understand that. Yes, yes. And rather than, reporting into HR, human resources, writing him up, insubordination, all that, I said, you know what? I'm going to be a human being with this guy, because he actually cares. If he didn't care, he would not be taking me outside. He would just be there to make a penny and just go home and forget about it, right? Because of that right there, we created a relationship like we're all looking to make here today, right? And I ended up scheduling Erik to work with me on most Saturdays and Sundays, and together, him and I would get the store ready better than anybody else before the store would open. Once we left Office Max years later, and I went, I got my insurance licenses, and Erik, decided to open his own cabinet shop. And by the way, Erik, you used to, you were in the cabinet business before that, working for other people, but they ended up, going out of business, and you wanted to keep the torch. And one day, I was contacting Erik. I said, you know what, Erik? I said, I want to try to run some free networking events and really help people move their business forward. I want to help you move your business forward. Maybe you can help me move my business forward, and we can get this whole thing going. And here we are, God, how many years later? And look where it's at today. So, on that note, Erik, I should send you all the way to the back, even though the back's not that far. So,
I'm already here.
So yeah, just head outside the door there, Erik. Close the door. So on that note, please stand up and rise to your feet and welcome the owner of Peninsula Cabinets, who's also known as the King of Cabinets, Mr. Erik Richardson.
I thought I was going to miss it. Oh, man. How are we doing today?
Good.
Wonderful.
Good that you made it.
Awesome. Sweet. I was told if I talked today, I had to have my Santa's hat on, so. And my teddy bear.
Nice.
Who's got a teddy bear at home? You can't sleep with them. Oh, maybe that's just me. Anyways, yes, thank you for coming once again to Peninsula Cabinets. I deeply appreciate it. Once again, please get up and have coffee and donuts as I talk. It's going to be really interactive today, because I hate it when people just stare at me and crack up. Hey, I got an email from Kelly Coleman. She canceled.
Oh, no. I did an edification for Robin on the one last week.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Wow.
On top of what?
So, yes. So, I did this presentation 2 years ago, Elias. Was it 2 years ago?
You used to be at our Trusted
At our
Business
Trusted Business Associates. I kind of tweaked it a little bit. I was here last night till 8 o'clock with Elias trying to figure out if I was going to do music to it or if I was going to talk to it. So, Unfortunately for you guys, I decided to talk through the slideshow today. So no fun, exciting music today. But this is one of the kitchens that we did a few years ago in Redwood City. The reason I like it so much, number one, it's cherry wood. Who likes cherry wood? It's nice and rich, it's nice and beautiful, if I can use that word. But also, an interior designer designed the kitchen. And the way she did this kitchen is such a great way that I decided to have it as the #1 picture on my slideshow. Now you might be saying, well, Eric, why did you start with that? Well, because if I go to the next slideshow, how many have a tile backsplash in your kitchen right now? How many wish you had it in your kitchen? The way she designed this backsplash was in such a way that every time I show it to people, I can't talk them out of it. And then they go to the tile store and they pick tiles that are like $5 a square foot. Well, believe it or not, she told me she got these tiles for 65 cents a square foot.
Wow.
Now, us in the industry, we go to the places, they get to know us, and we get a little bit of a discount. So we get it cheaper than someone off the street would get it. But here at Peninsula Cabinets, because I am a small shop, I pass the savings on to you. You know, so if you walk into Home Depot, how many of you actually walked into Home Depot and tried talking to them about a kitchen? And how was your experience there?
They don't know a lot.
Now, has anyone tried to walk into Lowe's and do the same thing?
Can you find someone?
That's my point. That's my point. You know, when you in Home Depot and Lowe's, I had a cousin that worked at Lowe's in the kitchen department, and she would call me every day, and she's like, I hate this job. I hate it. And she went to Seattle for college and became an interior decorator. And she was working at Lowe's. I said, well, why do you work there, Shari? Her name's Shari. I said, Shari, why do you work there? She's like, because no one's hiring in my industry. So at least I have a job. I said, okay, well, you're just at Lowe's, you can't be that busy, right? She's like, the problem is, Eric, I have to help every department. So let's say Paul comes in and he's looking for toilets and he can't find toilets. But he sees Shelley talking to a customer about cabinets. He could come up and say, excuse me, ma'am, can you tell me where toilets are? She would get in trouble if she just told him where to go. She would literally have to walk him to where the toilets were. What would that make you feel as a customer trying to buy cabinets from Shelley?
Not a priority.
Right. But in actuality, it's nothing she can do, right? Because this is what her boss said. If you go to a small shop like Peninsula Cabinets or Signature Kitchen and Baths, then you walk in and we don't have departments. All we do is cabinets, countertops, and we can set you up with stuff like that. Plus you're helping your local community. So, tile floor, a lot of people love tile floor in kitchens. I especially like it now because it's easier to clean. And if you're like me, I hate cleaning. Ask Elias, it took me 8 hours to clean this office yesterday because I hate it.
Yep.
I hate to clean. You know, I wish I had a girlfriend that could do it, but I don't. On that note.
You're going to say that on video?
I can control who sees it.
Yeah, really.
On this note, this kitchen is in sand colors. Now, Elias is going to kill me, but it's okay. I just want to say I love you all and I thank you for being my friend, but this is actually 5 minutes away from Elias' house. He doesn't know it, but it's 5 minutes away. And right off of Ledger Road, up in the hills, guy from Walnut Creek bought the house and said, I'm gonna flip it. Redid the entire house, put hardwood floor, laminate floors throughout the entire house. Now some of you are like, well, laminate's so cold. Well, not in this house, because under the laminate floor, he put heating elements throughout the entire house. So you could walk around barefoot and still be toasty. And like I said, it's in San Carlos. He also did what we call nutmeg cherry, which is kind of a brown color on cherry wood. Can anyone tell me where the refrigerator is? Right here? You're too smart. You're way too smart. He decided to do appliance panels on the appliances. Now, right there, I'm going to stop and talk a little bit. I could go full appliance panels, I could go against appliance panels. Can someone tell me why I would not suggest appliance panels?
Because when the appliance goes out, then you've got to redo, I don't even know, but that seems like more of a hassle.
What? And no one will ever tell you this. Those appliance panels can be as much as $5,000. Depending on what kind of refrigerator you have.
Wow.
So if your appliance goes out, are you really going to want to spend another $5,000 to put appliance panels back on? Or are you going to spend the $3,000 on a good refrigerator and just leave it alone? Right? I also like what they did here by the range. Nice picture behind the range. Nice 48-inch range, by the way. Who would like a 48-inch range in your house? A lot of cooking, right?
Yeah.
Callie, would you like a 48-inch range?
Of course, I don't know, give me that house.
Once I tell you how much it's sold for, you might double think that. Because, like I said,
know where that house generally is, and it's
Like-
in my price range.
like I said, he did buy it to sell it. And 2 years ago, he did sell it. Now, let's all think back. The economy 2 years ago, kinda iffy, right? Just from what you've seen is in the kitchen, that's a new kitchen, but just from what you've seen in the kitchen, what would you, wild guess, San Carlos off of Edgewood Road, how much you think the house went for?
About $1 million too.
Yeah, it's over $1 million.
1.10.
1.9.
Actually, 1.9.
1.9.
1.9 mil 2 years ago. Because he redid the entire house. Now, he's an investor out of Walnut Creek, and he did a great job. But that's just by redoing the kitchen, redoing the hallways.
What did he buy it for?
He says he bought it for $850.
But how much the renovations cost?
He says he spent $50.
Oh, wow.
So,
50,000?
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So overall, he was into it for about $900, and he turned it around and sold it for $1.9.
Okay.
Let me see hands. Who wouldn't mind having that kind of a profit?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, if I get that kind of profit, I'll buy one of everything. Now, this is a house in Half Moon Bay. Lovely, beautiful Half Moon Bay. The owners of this house designed the entire kitchen. Believe it or not, I do have clients that know what they want and know what they're doing. On the other hand, I have clients that come to me and say, Eric, this is what I would like to see, but how do I get it? So, the one thing they did is they decided to do a nice stainless steel hood over the cooktop with no cabinets on either side. And now, designing it on paper, I looked at it and I said, you might want to rethink not putting cabinets by the range. Because gonna be standing here by the cooktop. You're gonna want spices and stuff. They said, nope, this is what we want. I had to go back to them after it was all done and said, good job. You guys did your homework and you know what it looked like. Now, I put this kitchen in here for one reason. You guys get the gist of what they did, right? Drawer bank, drawer bank, drawer bank, sink base. Well, the tricky part was because you put a cabinet in the corner, like that.
You can't put 2 drawers inside.
What? So if you put it like this, like you're gonna be able to open the drawers? No. So they're like, well, we really don't want any fillers. How can we do it? I said, well, it depends on what kind of handles you're picking. Well, they ended up not picking the handles they told me they were. But what I did is I put a 3-inch filler and a 3-inch filler. Kind of something like that. And they were happy. Because on the other side of this wall, they have an opening from the outside that they can keep hoses and stuff like that in. I'm like, that's kind of nice, but where's your lazy Susan? Oh, I don't want them. I said, all right, whatever you want. The next slide. This is the island. Ladies, how many would like an island like this in your house?
Gorgeous.
Alright, but now notice, what did they use? They used 3 drawer banks. What do you guys notice about this kitchen?
It's all drawers.
All drawers. They did not want a regular cabinet in the kitchen. They wanted all drawers.
Handicap person in the house?
Nope. This is just what the wife wanted. And the husband said, that's not what I want, but
Yes,
I make people happy and she gets whatever she wants. Now, this island, believe it or not, is 9 feet long
It looks long.
by 2 feet deep. Nice size island, right, ladies? I don't even have a house and I'm always jealous of this island. But then at the end of the island, they said, we want a bookcase that my wife can show off special dishes and pots and vases and stuff. So they turned a 12 deep base cabinet into a bookshelf. Finished the interior, finished the shelves, and I think it turned out lovely. Now, I am biased because I do like that kitchen, and it is a nice kitchen. Once again, that's a cherry wood kitchen. Now we're going to go into maple wood. Believe it or not, this is natural maple. Now, I do have to put a disclaimer here. Elias, you're not allowed to say whose kitchen this is.
Okay.
Elias actually knows the owner of this house, so we gotta keep it on the down low. Because he would kill me if he knew he was in here. But, nice TV, nice little wine fridge. How many have wine fridges in the kitchen? How many would like a wine fridge in the kitchen? How many likes to drink wine? How many is like Paul and likes tequila?
I like tequila too. I like wine too.
I like what?
So now, this is, this kitchen was done, actually, the owl part of it was done 10 years before I met this guy. So then he came back to me, by the way, tile backsplash. Elias, right behind you, to the side, yeah, right there, just lift one of those tiles up. This is a 12 by 12 tile. Believe it or not, they do make granite tiles to match your granite countertops. And that's what he did. He decided to go with the single oven. It's just him and his wife. They don't do a lot of cooking. When they do, one oven's enough for them. But he also decided to go with the microwave hood and less clearance here. Can anyone tell me why he decided to do that? His wife's my height. She was having problems getting into the microwave. People don't think about that when they're designing kitchens. Now you're going to say, well, Eric, that's not a kitchen. Well, guess what? I don't only do kitchen cabinets. I can do office cabinets also. How many has a home office at your house? How many have gone to Office Depot, Staples, and as Elias always said, office mats, and bought a desk and took it back and had to assemble them together? Can anyone tell me what those desks are made of?
Particle board.
Well, it just so happens these are all wood cabinets.
Gorgeous.
It's 150 inches long. So he actually had to use 2 pieces of granite. But also, his wife's a dog and cat level. Do I have any dogs and cat levels in the house?
Yes.
So he said, Eric, I gotta have a place for my dog carrier. And then you can't quite see it, but there's also a subwoofer for right down here also. He's like, so not that I'm ever going to use this opening, but I need it to keep stuff in. So that is why he went that route. But also, he's an electrician by trade. So guess what he did? Oh, let's put a flat screen right in the middle of my desk. Oh, and let's take it a step further and do surround sound. He's got speakers in his ceiling throughout the entire house. Tell me, you wouldn't like to work in that office.
Oh yeah.
He must be a musician or something.
No, he's an electrician, so he has nothing to do.
That's true.
Make sure he doesn't get this video, Elias.
I don't think he'll see it.
Well, Eric, wait a minute. That's not an office those aren't office cabinets. That looks like a guest bedroom to me. Well, yes, it is. And actually, let me go to the next slide.
Yeah, it's a guy in me.
This is another desk. This guy's wife likes to sew. Do I have any ladies here that like to sew? Big quilt blankets and comforters, right? Well,
Kind of people.
she doesn't really do it a lot, but when she does, she used to take over the kitchen table. Any of you guys, your wife takes over the kitchen tables and you get mad at her?
Who's gonna admit that?
Exactly.
Jesus,
Honestly,
man.
I can catch anyone. Well, he came and said, Eric, we really don't have any guests over at our house, and when we do, it's just 1 or 2 nights. I'd like to convert this back room into my wife's sewing room. So that way I can get my kitchen table back. Well, as you can see, this is a desk with cabinets all the way down, around, and cabinets down. Well, that's what it looks like when the bed's down. It's a queen-size Murphy's bed. So when you have guests or visitors come down, you can pull the bed down and they can sleep on the bed. Well, when no one's around, you can hide the bed and it just looks like another desk. By the way, I don't do wall beds, but there's a nice place in Bowling Green we could send you. All I do is provide the cabinets around the wall bed to match. This guy thought I wasn't going to be able to do it. After he got his stuff in, he took pictures, took it down to the wall beds. The lady sent me 2 customer sets. to match it because they can't do nothing like this.
Yeah.
So they really liked it. So right there we got desk, office desk, wall beds, and kitchens. If I go too fast, just let me know. So now this is a house in Vallejo. And when we walked into this house, the guy's like, look, I'm on a budget. I can't really afford a lot. But anything you do here, it'll be an improvement. Because you walked in and there was doors missing. You go to open a cabinet and the door would fall off.
That's fun.
Right. Well, and who does most of the cooking in the kitchen? The ladies, right? Usually the ladies, right?
Maybe.
The ladies, the wife says.
This is 2011, Eric.
Yeah, yeah.
You're forgetting that.
It's whoever likes to cook.
Well, in this house is the wife that liked to cook, and she was cooking with stuff like cabinets that were falling off the walls. One day she's cooking on the range, and the cabinet fell off the wall. Now, if Kelly knows that that's a liability, and that could be dangerous, right? Well, this is what made the husband decide, honey, you're gonna get your kitchen you wanted. So believe it or not, he came and said, well, I don't have a lot of money. Do you have something inexpensive? I said, I showed him this door, happens to be maple glaze, and he's like, my wife loves it. Well, if you look, go ahead and pass that around. If you look at that, and you look at, and you look at this, can you tell the difference between the two doors? Paul, can you tell the difference between this door and the other door?
Yeah, this one's bigger.
Besides the obvious.
This is a little heavier.
Feels a little heavier.
It's bigger, but yeah, might be.
Lighter color.
Lighter color.
Well, it's bigger, so how can you tell? It's probably one is probably veneer, the other
But
one
it's
is.
much heavier.
Yeah, this,
Believe it or not, they're all wood.
the solid wood.
They're both wood.
They're both all wood doors.
With the grain circle.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys want to know the difference?
Please.
The one in Chloe's right hand is made in Boeing, Oregon.
It's made what?
In Oregon.
Oregon?
A city called Boeing, Oregon.
Okay.
The one in the left hand comes from China.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Believe it or not, guys, and ladies, these are Chinese cabinets. A lot of people walk in and never know the difference. That's the difference that the Chinese are doing now, is they're improving the way they make the cabinets. And they're still about half the price of the Edgewater cabinets.
Same wood.
Same wood, yeah, silk maple, just less options. So he said, well, I can't afford the. He decided, well, let's save money on the cabinets, but let's go extravagant on the backsplash. So he decided to do a mosaic backsplash with a granite border all the way around it. Now you're probably looking at it and said, Eric, I've seen that layout before. How many of you thinking that?
You saw the others up and on the other one.
Well, if y'all turn your heads to the right, that's where you got the idea from. Is the granite border with mosaic backsplash. Believe it or not, this is exactly the same colors he did in Vallejo because his wife liked it so much. Under cabinet lights, crown molding, sliding range with no back to it. So he was able to do granite border all the way around. Now you're saying, Eric, I thought you were a cabinet guy. Well, yes, but I also, because I am a cabinet guy, I work hand in hand with countertops. So I can recommend you to the best countertop people around. You're saying, well, that's kind of nice. I like that idea. Undermount stainless steel sinks. How many remembers back in the good old days when the sinks were on top of the countertop and trying to clean all the way around the sink? How many like cleaning around the sinks? Well, now you go undermount stainless steel sinks and you just wipe everything off into the sink. So now you're probably looking at this and said, yeah, why did you only do a 12-inch cabinet over the refrigerator? Well, if you look very high up top, there's a soffit. These guys came in and said, look, we're only going to be here another 2 years. We really don't want to spend all that money to get rid of the soffits. Can you design the kitchen keeping the soffits in? I called him and the answer is,
Of course.
So we came in and took out the cabinets and put everything back in the way they had it, with one minor adjustment. I put a 45-degree angle cabinet here, because it's a whole lot easier to get into than a blind corner cabinet with the Lazy Susan. How am I doing on time, Elias?
I'd say probably another 5 to 7 minutes, Eric.
Thank you. You're saying, well, Eric, that's a nice close-up, but why are you showing that close-up to us? How many of you wish you can have 2 different levels at your wall? So you can hide everything on the lower countertop and no one on this side of the wall can see it. Because if you're like me, I wait till the end of the night to clean my dishes. If you're having a party, are you really going to want to sit there and keep cleaning while everyone's right there? No. So by doing a split level countertop, you can hide the mess by the sink. Now you're saying, oh, that looks like a bathroom vanity. Well, Michael Hill, you're right. That is a bathroom vanity.
Hallelujah. First time all year. Been right.
Well, Eric, that looks like a double sink. Wow, Elias, Melas, you're right. That is a double sink bathroom vanity. By the way, 33 3/4 high. How many of us have 32-inch bathroom vanities, and in the morning we have to bend over to wash our face and do anything with it? So what the manufacturers went out and did is, oh, let's make the vanities higher so it's more like a kitchen height vanity. Well, I'm only 32 years old, and I love the fact that I don't have to have a low vanity. So yes, I do bathroom vanities as well. Wow, that looks like a display in your office. That's what it looks like without all the stuff on it. That's what it looks like when it's clean. You're like, well, Eric, that's a nice white paint kitchen with a lower cooking area that you could prepare all your foods with before you put them in the oven. Put them on the cooktop. But Eric, how do you keep white clean? Just like you do any other cabinets. You just warm water and elbow grease. Oh, Eric, I got this bathroom and it's so small that I can't put a bathroom vanity in it. Well, do you have a corner that you can put a 21 by 21 inch bathroom vanity in? We can also do corner bathroom cabinets as well. Oh, yes. Well, Eric, I've seen in these magazines where you can do a farmhouse sink. And, I really like granite, so I want you to give me a granite farmhouse sink. Number one, you're all crazy if you think I'm gonna lift it up. Because, believe it or not, folks, you can do farmhouse sinks. That's an 8-foot slab of granite made into a double sink. Took, believe it or not, 4 guys to lift that sink.
True.
4 guys. Off of a truck, into the showroom. Yeah, it's heavy. I went home that night, laid in the bathtub with warm water.
Wow.
Oh, hey, Eric, that's a nice flyer. Well, a little side monkey told me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, because when does Eric listen?
Never. Never.
This flyer did not come around by myself. Believe it or not, my good friend Elias made that flyer.
Nice job.
He did a fabulous job, and I forgot to bring the flyers with me. They're at home. So next week, when I see you all, I will pass out the flyers. But it tells you a little bit about what we do. Kitchens, bathrooms, home offices, entertainment centers. How many want to hide those flat screen TVs when you're not using them? You have family over, you don't want them to sit and watch TV, you want them to be social. Well, you can hide them, right? Entertainment center. How many have rental units? How many have vacation homes? What about how many of you actually go into an office and have office cabinets that you might need? Oh, wait, what does that say? Free consultation. You go to Home Depot and Lowe's, they charge you $100. You call a local small shop up, they won't charge you anything. You call Peninsula Cabinets, I'll walk you through it step by step. I literally had a customer call me last night at 10 o'clock. I answered it, took care of them. 3D drawings. I don't have anything close, so I can't show you, but I'll give you a free 3D plan that you can look at and you can visualize. How many people like to visualize what the kitchen's going to look like or something? I've been in the industry for 10 years. And the one thing that keeps repeating itself, Eric, I've got to see it. I can't visualize it. I hear one with a 3D plan. Oh, thank you, Eric. That looks nice. I had one last story. I had this lady that could not visualize it. And her husband's like, Eric, how can we make it easier on my wife? I said, well, you have cardboard at home? Oh yeah, I got cardboard. He went home that night, created the entire kitchen out of cardboard. So his wife can see what it would look like.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, yes, but can anyone tell me the number one reason of divorce besides money? Remodel your kitchen, you'll find out how truly you love your significant other.
Wow.
It's fact. People will tell you. If you remodel your house, it's going to be tough times. On that note, remodel your house, and it can also be a fun time. Because if you keep them involved, then you grow together and you get closer. Isn't that nice? And then you could go over the houses and have brand new kitchen parties with alcohol. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Anyone have any questions?
How far of a location are you willing to go?
Texas.
That's my job.
Texas.
That's the job.
You know, the people have always asked me this, and this is my one answer. If I can drive it, I will do.
Okay.
You can drive to Texas.
Takes a couple days.
Yeah.
Elias and I have this great friend who we used to network with, and he has family in Texas, and he wants to redo his mom's kitchen. He's like, Eric, I'll measure it for you. I even have hookups with FedEx. I'll ship the cabinets for you. Can I buy the cabinets for you? Sure, no problem. But I'd like to go measure it myself if I can.
Yeah.
Plus, how many would like to go to Hawaii and buy a vacation home? I need someone to have a vacation home in I keep telling my business partner that, it'd be great that I could fly to Hawaii and write it off on business because I measure the kitchen.
How about Mexico?
I actually sold a kitchen in Mexico. They picked up the cabinets from me. They packed all their tools into a rental truck and drove them to the house in Mexico. I have gone anywhere from Salinas to Clear Lake to Shingle Spring to... Actually, I just did a bathroom in Modesto. That's right, I just did a bathroom in Modesto. I've actually sold kitchens in Tahoe before. I didn't get to deliver them, but I've actually sold them. So the answer is, I try to go anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
If I can legitimately do it, then I can do it.
So Davis is in your ballpark.
Davis is in the ballpark.
Okay.
I have 3 houses in Stockton I can crash at, so if it's too tired and I don't want to drive home, I can go to Stockton. So, anyone else? Any other questions?
Did we get to visit your workshop?
I don't make cabinets. I wish I did because then you would smell it. But I actually am the middleman. I come to the house, I measure the kitchens, bathrooms, offices, you name it. And then I come back to my office, design it, and then I actually buy them from the manufacturers. So now because I am a small shop, I don't mark it up. Like, I should have took it down to make the office look better, but in January, one of my Chinese lines says, Eric, we're gonna do 20% off. A lot of people won't show their customers this. I actually made copies and put it in all my packets I passed out. Because if I get a discount from the manufacturer, I'm passing it on to the customer. Because that is what will make me successful, is keeping them happy. And yet, they know I'm taking good care of them. So, unfortunately, I don't have a workshop. When I get big and successful, maybe. But right now, I don't actually make my own cabinets.
But you did, right?
Actually, I've never done it. In the 10 years I've been in it, I've always been the dealer. Anyone else?
What's the price tag for a regular kitchen?
It's all different, Milky. You can go anywhere from, let's say this kitchen here. Come on. Let's say that kitchen there. This kitchen went for $8,000. And that was...
Egg salad?
That's
8,000.
That was because of the interior accessories that I didn't show you.
That's the cost of the cabinets, that's not the cost of installing them? Or
That's not the cost of installing.
Yeah.
Now remember, I said I sold this to an interior designer also. Anytime you work with an interior designer, they automatically mark it up 15-20%. So I sold it to her for $8,000. She turned around and marked it up 20% and paid me nothing.
So that's all the cabinets.
All the cabinets, all the crown molding, all the baseboard molding. Like I said, everything here is soft close. So when you open a cabinet and you close it, it's slam. How many likes to hear slamming? Doesn't that just kill you? Well, they went soft close everything, so you can't slam anything.
Including the granite, right?
Yes, that was including granite, yes.
Wow.
That's pretty good. So if you install it,
Backwash too?
The backsplash is not included in that 8,000.
I was gonna say, wow, that is a steal.
Yeah.
But remember, that was
A while
6
back.
years ago.
It should be
But that's
cheaper
still more
now.
in the
No.
height. I was gonna say, that was like in the height of the mark.
Believe it or not, even though the economy's bad, manufacturers have not decreased the price of cabinets.
it's 25.
That's why the Chinese cabinets are so busy right now. Because they're usually about about half the price.
Well, they're probably cleaning up on more profits because the labor is not cheap.
You know what?
How about the
You what?
transportation, it's far.
Ship them over in containers.
You can pack a container full, so.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm going to say thank you. And I'm going to bring Elias back up to close us out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.